All right, people. So I was looking at the AMC options and I noticed something pretty interesting. For this Friday, for next Friday, and I believe the Friday after that, you can buy strikes up to $145 strikes. And then after that, all the way until January 22nd, the highest strike you can buy is 95, and the lowest, like on one of the expirations, the highest you can buy is 69. The option makers make the options. They make more money on people betting on the $145 strikes over and over again because it's the cheapest one and people are just waiting for the MOAS than anywhere else. Why would they set up the next 12 expirations? Maybe it was 6, 7, 8 expirations in a row after the next 2 weeks that say you're not allowed to buy a strike over $95. Some of them are 95, some of them are 90, and some of them are 69. And then you get to January 2022 where you can buy a $145 strike again, but it's $400 to buy a contract. When I look at something like that, I get the feeling that they are doing that intentionally because they know that something's coming. So I've been saying for some time now that AMC is going to pass the GME price. Man, we might have another down week or two, but AMC going up. It's a guarantee. They wouldn't be price. You can't go find an option chain, a symbol where you go look through the options and it's not consistent strikes scattered throughout. The last time that I made a prediction based off the options was on my June 18th prediction back in March. I said June 18th, $40 strike, because every strike before that, the highest you could buy was 29. Well, this is the opposite effect. This isn't them saying, okay, you can buy higher strikes over here, but all of these ones are just going to be flat at 29. This one is, it went up. So when it skyrocketed at first, they went as high as 80, I think. Then after they got control of the stock, they went to allow 145s. And now, as AMC is having its momentum push back on the upward cycle, they're bringing the option strikes back down. That's messed up. That don't make sense. I'm telling you, that don't make sense. So, am I an AMC millionaire now? In damages, yes. My bets and predictions were accurate, and they had to sell shares to beat me. So by damages, I am 100% a millionaire, and someday in court, as I go through this legal process, I will get paid millions, if not way more than millions of dollars. No one in the stock market has more damages as an individual than I do as Marcus Ray. That is a fact of life. And so my channel kind of proves that stuff. If you want to go back and watch some stuff, you could go back to basically April 23rd is when I lost the money. But if you go back to the 2 weeks before that and watch that 2 weeks, and then if you go to the May 28th expiration week and the week after that, you'll see what happened with AMC stock price there. And you'll see where I collected my damages. And so I believe that because I believe personally they were going to let the stock price go up slowly. But because I was going to make so much money and because I was getting an AMC following and my YouTube was starting to take off, I believe that they lied, like basically on their earnings call, they lied about which shares they would or would not sell. And after they started selling them, they then later turned in the document saying they were going to sell them, which is basically, there's a timeline gap in between all of this that says they changed their mind. And I believe I'm the one that made them change their mind. And I could be wrong, I could be right about that. Like, we'll have to see what happens in court. But that's not what's important. What's important is the way that they designed the options inside AMC the last time. They wouldn't let you buy $40 strikes before the June cycle, okay? They wouldn't let you. They knew the price had to go up, but they didn't know how long, and they didn't know how long they could keep the price down, and they didn't. But then, like, I surprised them and forced them to sell all those shares at a really cheap price. And so, I don't know. If you're thinking about AMC in the context of a MOAS, okay? A MOAS is the mother of all short squeezes. It only happens one time. It's a stock that sends everything else to zero. It has an option chain, and when it sends everything else to zero, the options is what's taking value from the rest of society. And that's how they have the market set up. So you send the stock price to infinity, the options will make the infinity money. Every dollar the options make, it will take out of society, and the MOAS will be accomplished by sending everything else to zero. And what I'm suggesting is AMC is the only stock to not dilute 2 times this year, and no other stock has voted down a dilution effort in the history of the world. Go find it. Go find me the news article where another stock denied dilution. It doesn't exist because every other stock is owned by insiders. When they want to dilute, they dilute. And they got to create a pretty enough picture for the investors that are retail investors to like their plan. And obviously a lot of them have really successful businesses and make a lot of money, and that helps too. And so it's all about building this public perception, and there is no greater public perception than AMC. All the people coming together saying, we don't trust the institution, we will never again dilute this share. You guys diluted us 500% from October to January. And now that we own control of it and fully, we're never diluting again. And they dropped the price all the way down to $30 3 weeks ago, and now it's up to $51. Okay, so can they drop it 5%, 10%, whatever? Sure. But it's going to keep going up because people aren't selling. They're in it for the MOAS. Think about it. Think about it. It's the only sure bet. It's the only sure bet. And the way that the options are lined up, the fact that the low strike prices starts in 2 weeks suggests that in 2 weeks, like, they don't want you buying super cheap out of the money options because they know they got to relieve the price. And so it looks like AMC's going up. Yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. I don't know, that Meet Kevin stuff really bothers me. He buys into AMC back in April, right before or right after the first big burst to, I think it was $60. It came back down to 40, and then he bought in, and then it went up to like 75 or whatever. And since then, he just keeps shorting the market, and he keeps selling calls and all this other bullcrap. And he's only got 1% of his account in AMC, and he just invested $600,000 into a firm. And it's like, he won't even talk about the benefits of AMC. He'll talk about Tesla being a diamond-handed stock, but he won't even talk about what AMC has done that no other stock has ever accomplished in the history of the world. I took those January 2023 calls in early April, and I made a big bet after the AMC CEO said they weren't selling their 43 million shares till 2022, and in that 2 weeks, they sold all 43 million shares, and I missed my money. Of course, I want the money lavishly. I like to go on vacations and stay in nice hotels for sure, but outside of that, I put all my money back into my projects. And so if I would have made $2 million, my plan was to buy AMC stock with that $2 million. The same thing that I was telling you in April, I was telling you in May and June. I was saying, hit your money, buy your options, hit your out of the money, close them out, and buy shares. And let's jack the price to infinity. That's what I was preaching. My stream blacked out. It looks good on my side. Why the F did my stream black out? That's trippy. When I do live streams from my computer, it doesn't allow me to show my face. Anytime I show my face from my computer, it blocks it out. It'll freeze my camera on one section and just never move forward. And then I can disable the connection of my camera and put it back on, and it'll work for another minute, and then they halt it again. My YouTube's being all messed up, people. It's being all messed up. Share the word. Share the word. There's no better analysis of what's happening in AMC than right here. Alright, guys. My camera's going crazy. Everything's going crazy. I'm going to take off.